All right, we're gonna be getting started pretty soon here, so yeah, keep it locked. As you're popping in, feel free to say hello. I would greatly appreciate that. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Let me just kind of take this down a little bit. That way it's not in the way, but as you're in here, if you guys want to do me a solid, smash the like button. I would truly appreciate it. Anyways, good morning to you guys, and I don't know, the camera looks a little hazy, so give me a second here. Just kind of wipe around it. Hopefully, yeah, that looks a little better. Looks a little better, but you know, I mean, it is what it is. So, anyways, in today's live stream, I wanted to talk more about Pixel 10 and photography, and you know, for those people who just want a good camera on a smartphone. Photography has just been, you know, something that I just been superly interested in for the longest time. So yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty crazy. Hey, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Same to you, Titus. I know people were pointing it out yesterday. They're like, dude, you put Aloha Friday podcast on a Thursday. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, that's for the members only, right? So I live streamed it for everybody to see. And then once the live stream was over, and then I set it to members only for members to replay it. Today's the actual Aloha Friday podcast, so glad to have you here, Titus. You know, like I was saying, you know, photography is like one of my things that like, you know, like a hobby. If you want to put it in that context, it's like a hobby, and it's something that I enjoy doing. And you know, it also like gives a reason to get out the house. You know what I mean? Working from home, being trapped in these four walls sometimes can get to you. So being able to get out there and get out in nature too, I had a lot of fun. So you guys are going to be seeing some of my, well, you guys are going to be seeing my Instagram account, and you guys are going to be seeing some stuff here I'm going to share with you guys. For context, you know, a lot of the photos that I post on social media that I tag Pixel 10 have no settings changed to them. So like, you know, like some people will ask, right? Like last night I tried to do astrophotography. It didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. Obviously, I picked a bad day to try and do it because there's a lot of clouds coming in, a lot of storms coming into my area. So, you know, I literally was at the mercy of the weather, and it just didn't play in favor to me. So a lot of the astrophotography that I took, that I uploaded in today's video, there's only 2 photos actually, but they came out looking like it was early morning. Like it looked like it was like 5:45 a.m. in the morning, when literally it was dark where we were at. So as far as illuminating for photography at late night, if you use astrophotography, you could really capture some detail. I'm actually going to show you guys here in just a second. We'll switch it up here. And so this was today's video. There's not going to be any sound from the video in itself, other than, you know, yeah, hopefully this works out. I know my Wi-Fi isn't the greatest, so but as long as it's able to show you guys some of the photos and everything like that, we'll see. We shall see. It's gonna have that buffering circle in there. Okay, now stream quality is going to be pretty bad just because I have such weak Wi-Fi, but I mean, you could probably get the idea. It was pretty dark on this trail, and this was not a novice trail, so I'm like really surprised that my kids did it. This is one that me and my wife hiked quite a bit, and it is extremely steep. Of course, there's a lot of rocks you can use for footing to get a grip to get up it. But for the most part, with this video, which you guys can catch the replay to it, I'm not going to show too much of the video because you guys need to go check out the video afterwards. But I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. It was really dark. You see my kids had to use the flashlights on their phones just to be able to illuminate their path to get up this thing. It was pretty intense. A good workout too, man. I sweated bullets going up this thing. But this is like a first shot. This is a night sight shot. So you can see some of the stars, but this was the astrophotography shot, and it looks like it's like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And you can see like there's a lot of noise in the video. obviously because it is really extremely dark. I mean, that's just context that I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, this was North Mountain Phoenix. I haven't even gone to South Mountain yet with the Pixel 10. I'm gonna talk to my wife about that. Maybe probably this Saturday, since it's her day off, that we may go. This is 20 times zoom right here. This is how badass the camera is. 20 times zoom. You can see the McDonald's sign, and it's clear and it's very low light. And this is what I'm trying to point out to people that's like really good with Pixel cameras. This right here was a night sight shot. I thought, you know, the skies could have been better. It made the sky look really grayish though. That's the only thing I didn't like about the shot. But you know, yeah, this is crazy. The entire hike up the mountain was just really dark. If you guys want to see the whole thing, I'll pause it right here because this is no, the last photo on the mountain with the stars, that was a night sight. This was the astrophotography shot. This right here was right here. This was the astrophotography shot. Doesn't it look like morning? Like it looks like early morning. Oh, it's so crazy. You guys want to catch that full video? Yeah, just, you know, after this live stream's over, just go ahead and check it out. I did do a live stream on Instagram last night on my main Instagram account. So this is my main Instagram account. I've pretty much shifted tech to its own Instagram account where I just upload tech reels. There's like no photos or nothing like that. This is like my personal Instagram account. Let me see. This is photography I did the other day with the Pixel 10, right? So these are just some photos right here. This is a selfie shot. And this was in the evening time, but let me just look. It is super clear. And like I said, with photography, I don't mess with any of the settings when I want to show you guys what these cameras can do. These cameras can do really good. Just point and shoot is the whole point that I'm showing it. It's point and shoot. You don't have to fudge with anything. I mean, yes, I would like a pro, you know, a pro mode setting in the Gcam app in order for you to really kind of get in there. But you know, for the most part, I mean, just point and shoot and you get photos like this. Hey look, Made by Google responded. It says, looks like the ideal time of the day to enjoy nature, 100. Shout out to Made by Google. They commented on my post. But yeah, I mean, look at some of these shots right here. Like, okay, so like with this one right here, you know, I'm not a professional photographer, but I do see some things right here. So right around here, it gets a bit hazy, a bit fuzzy when it comes to the detail. But around this bush, lower to the bush, the shadows, everything of this photo is just, it's decent for social media. It's good for social media. I wouldn't really complain. And, you know, for me, knowing what I want out of my shot, I can critique the hell out of this photo. I think it's anybody that just comes by this photo would just think it's pretty, you know, it's pretty good and would like it. Now, I'm not trying to hype myself up. I'm just saying the reality of what it is. You know, another selfie shot of me on the trail. This trail was on, it's still North Mountain area, but it's on the other side. So it starts off as like mostly flat ground, and then you get to this point halfway where it's just a straight incline, one up to the next leg, and then to the very top. But the other, I think it was a video I posted, and I posted it on YouTube, but where we were hiking, and then like it was a night of the blood moon. So the night of the blood moon hike, where I zoomed in on a hiking trail. This that I'm standing on in this photo right now is that hiking trail that I zoomed in on. And if you want reference, the mountain that I had zoomed in on to test 20 times zoom on that other hiking video was on this mountain right here in the background. You see with the sunset lighting hitting it, and then the TV towers on the very top where my mouse is pointing. That's where I shot from. That was the distance from there to where I'm standing here. That is a far length away, and I was able to zoom in, and it was pretty clear visuals. It's just, you know, you can easily see movement if you twitched your hand holding the phone. right? So now I recently put a pop socket on my case with my Pixel 10 to get, in case I don't bring my tripod, I can, handle it a little better with grip. But I mean, for the most part, that's insane. 20 times zoom. We stopped off at the top of this of the first incline leg. I snapped this photo, and then my son was like, "Hey, Dad, take a picture of my, of like the stem in my hand. You can barely see it." But then when I bring the camera, the phone up close to his hand, I mean, look at the detail of this thing that he's holding. And the reason why he chose this, like he wanted me to take a photo of this while he was holding it in his hand, is because right here, there's a point where he says it looks like a heart. And so he calls it the heart twig. And I snapped this photo. And again, this was just me coming up as close to his hand as possible until it was clear and focused. And then another tip that, I'll tell people is that when I snap a photo, I use the volume rocker as a shutter button rather than trying to tap the screen. Because, I can softly squeeze and then, snap the photo. That if you touch the display, it causes a quick shake, which could then throw your focus out. So, yeah, this in all of it, I thought this was a really, really good shot. And so, like, my son, he likes to try to help me with my YouTube videos and stuff like that. Things that I'm demoing, he tries to help me out with that. So I appreciate him for that. And then there's this one right here. He kind of lost focus around his hair, yet you can still see some of the detail of his hair, as far as it being spiky, because he was sweating. This was a difficulty of medium, this trail that we were on. And just lately, my kids just been love hiking and everything. So I just been taking them as much as I can to go hiking with me. We were at a top point, and my kids were just kind of looking off into the horizon. They were waiting for the bats to come out. There were bats that were eventually gonna like start flying out because it was dusk. And so while they were gazing off into the horizon, I decided to whip out the phone and capture the moment. And I thought it came out pretty good too. The detail of the mountains across, you can see the details. You can definitely see the details on the rocks around here. On the corners of the photo, there's not a lot of artifacts or noise that I'm seeing. So it looks really good in my opinion. And then this one, my daughter again was looking off into the horizon. I decided to just snap a photo real quick of her while she was standing on this rock platform. And I thought, it came out pretty decent. This was with night sight turned on. So it's like, even though it's sunset and it's dusk, if you enable night sight, you can kind of manipulate the situation. Because if I showed this to somebody without telling them the time of day I shot this photo, I'm pretty sure most people would assume it was morning. And it actually wasn't morning, it was nighttime. I decided to take a photo of like, the rocks right here with the sunset horizon drop in the background with a few little, weeds sticking up from the ground. Just kind of get that effect of how high we are. We're pretty high. So anyways, so that was that post. Now, where this is at, this is where I was talking about where I shot 20 times zoom to the trail below. This is the day that I'm talking about. So like we got up to a high point here. And so I thought with the sunset and the sun streams, I would take pictures, take a picture of my family. Just kind of like a majestic heavenly look I was going for. And then, my wife and I, both of us are in our weight loss journeys. So we're definitely trying to, get slimmed down and everything. So she and I are each other's support. I love her very much. And, I support everything she wants to do. She got me into hiking and everything like that, because she worries about my diabetes and how it affects my body, and she refuses to let me die young. So yeah, we do a lot of stuff together. We work out together. Like we got a little mini gym in our bedroom that, if it's days that we can't go hiking or we can't go out for a run or whatever, and then we hit the weights, we hit the bicycle. Like I bought her a mini exercise bike that's compact, so it folds up and she can store it away. And then when she wants to get on the bike and she wants to bike like 5 miles, So she'll put on a movie on the TV and watch a movie as she's cycling, and you know, just getting a good sweat and getting her heart rate up and everything like that. Definitely important too if you're gonna hike. You also want to get your cardio up and everything like that. You're gonna need it, especially if you want to get to the very end of the trail, which is pretty high. We got a lot of hiking trails here in Phoenix. Then this was a sunset right here. I just thought it looked really amazing. And like I said, again, with the Pixel 10, I did not change any settings at all whatsoever. Everything is just straight off, you know, just point and shoot. Like open the cam app, line my shot, shoot. That's it, you know. And then I believe this one right here was 20 times zoom into the horizon. You can still see like the flare of the sun hitting the clouds. This was another 20 times zoom shot. A little hazy around it, you know, so it's not, I can only imagine how the Pixel 10 Pro's camera is going to do for telephoto for, you know, ProRes zoom. This is a little bit noisy. However, if you see the detail of the moon, you can see the craters and stuff like that. And that's the type of effect that I want. Now, if I was to really run this through Google Photos with AI editing, I can really clean this up. But I wanted people to see what you would get with just a point and shoot scenario. So I left a lot of the defects within this shot in itself. But the whole point was to show you what the Pixel 10's telephoto lens can do. This one, I was like trying to get like just like this really good shot on the side of the mountain, but the night sight just really threw it off, so didn't like it. This is without night sight, but obviously you can see the moon is back to being a white orb rather than having any detail to it. And then, yeah, another zoom shot of the blood moon, which actually looks more like cheese. This was a vlog that I put together of that day. Of another day that we went hiking up trail. Yeah, so this is it. So you'll probably see a point where I zoom in 20 times zoom to the trail that I did the other night. And there it is. So when I took the selfie, I was down there. Now what's going on? But anyways, yeah. So that mountain with the sunset view, this is where I shot it from. And I went 20 times zoom and got all the way down there on this hike day. Like the zoom in the Pixel 10 is just phenomenally good. All right. And this is not, I don't have the Pro model. I know a lot of people are covering the Pro model, you know, Pixel 10 Pro, Pixel 10 Pro XL. This is another 20 times zoom. I zoomed all the way into the city of Phoenix from North Mountain. The city of Phoenix is back there. You know, so it's just, it's like, even with the base 10, you're going to get some pretty decent photos, especially if you're someone who's like heavy into photography. Oh, you'll definitely kill it with this phone. This phone's cameras is absolutely solid. I still yet to have done astrophotography and actually achieved it, because you know I did it. I tried to last night, but it was just too much haze, too much storms coming, so it wasn't all the greatest. But yeah, that's a quick you know, video from Graham that, you know, I took. What this one was. Oh yeah, I did a little video on Instagram if you can vlog with the Pixel 10 cameras. Yeah, you guys want to follow my main Instagram account. There it is right there. This one I was live streaming, so I was testing live stream on the Pixel 10. When we got to the top of the mountain, we started coming back down, and this is what it looked like on the live stream. This is crazy. I mean, you can see the clouds. Of course, I was pointing the camera east. You can see lightning from the thunderhead clouds out east that were heading our way. But, yeah, you know, it was insanely dark. Well, my kid had to use their flashlights in order to see. We had to make it all the way back down there to that road, right? That's how high up the mountain we were. We hiked the narrow trail on the rocks, which, you know, was like the slowest part of the hike, because obviously you don't want to lose your footing and fall down into the ravine. But once we got halfway through, there was like a paved road that goes the rest of the way up the mountain because it goes up to the radio towers. And then when we were coming back down, we walked some of it. We decided to jog some of it. But we had to get all the way back down to the road down there where my mouse is pointing at. And then we had to walk like a quarter mile south to get back to the parking lot where we parked our car at. So literally yesterday's hiking adventure was about 2.5 hours. So not bad at all. Very proud of my kids for making it that far up. Usually I go to more of the novice trails for them, but they really wanted to get a good sweat in. And so, me being me, it was like, I know I was probably annoying my kids, but like every so often I was like asking, like, are you guys okay? Do you guys need to stop? You guys need water? Like, they're just looking at me like, come on, Dad, let's go. Like, and then they were showing me up because my son's like, I can run up this leg, and he ran up the steep part of the trail. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, thanks, thanks for reminding me I'm 43 and slowly rusting and falling apart. I love my kids. I love doing all this type of stuff with my kids. But yeah, I think the only hardest part of hiking this trail last night was having to completely scold my kids for running off. You see how far ahead they are from me. I don't like them being that far ahead because there are mountain lions in this part of Phoenix. There's mountain lions, there's coyotes, there's bobcats, of course, rattlesnakes. I have seen tarantulas and scorpions on this trail. And so, because it's that dark, as you can see without their light illuminating, that's how dark it is. And I'm just like, you guys can't see. Like, my kids know when we go hiking on a trail, my kids already know that literally, it's just basically, where I have always told them that if I get attacked by a wildlife animal, do not try to help me. Do not try to intervene. Call for help. 911 on your smartphone, call for help. And, put distance between you and the animal. Allow me to keep that distance between you and the animals. Just because, I don't want them getting hurt. Like, I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want them to get attacked or any of that stuff. So I really just kind of like, ultimately just, yeah, I don't want them to get hurt. I don't know. I'm always worried about that. So, but anyways, the Google Pixel 10's cameras can achieve things, and I'm not saying like it's, like don't get an iPhone or any of that stuff. Like, I'm not saying that at all whatsoever. Like, you get what you want to get, you like what you want to like. But what I'm telling you guys, is when people ask, well, why didn't you go for the Pro model? You could have had like the 100 times zoom, ProRes zoom, and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, I get it. I could have had, better camera sensors all the way around, right? But I already knew a lot of people were going to cover the Pro models. I mean, when it comes down to, tech vlogs on YouTube and stuff like that, people, a lot of the creators tend to go after the Pro models. And so I figured, because I don't like spending a lot of money on smartphones, I would go with the Pixel 10. And I can show people what the Pixel 10 can do compared to the Pro models. I mean, if people want to know, like this right here on my wrist, this is the Pixel Watch, but this is the Pixel Watch 1. I haven't even upgraded to the Pixel Watch 2 or anything newer, and we're already on the 4th generation of the Pixel Watch. I'm still using the OG Pixel Watch. I've already made it, I made up my mind that I'm not going to upgrade from this watch until it stops working. Because the battery life has gotten better on it. It's got even better now. Now with the latest update on Wear OS and, of course, the Material 3 Expressives and all that other stuff, a lot of the widgets on here look a lot better than what they did before. And I noticed that battery life is hell of good because I wore this hiking. It tracked all my physical activity and everything on Fitbit. And then I went to bed last night. I think it was like 11:30 p.m. I went to sleep. Battery was at 83% on the watch. When I woke up this morning, it was at 79%. And I wore it on my wrist, so I was able to actually track my sleep for the first time with the Pixel Watch. Usually I use like another smartwatch that has like, you know, 5, 6 day, 7 day battery. Sometimes I don't feel like throwing my watch on a charger, so I'll use like the CMF Watch Pro. And recently I've been testing out, where is it? I've been testing out this. This is the Tozo S6 watch. And where's the other one at? Oh, it's on the charger. Hang on. And then I've also been testing the Tozo S6 AccuFit watch. So if people want to know what the difference is between the regular S6 watch from Tozo and then the S6 AccuFit Evo, apparently the displays are different. AMOLED display on this watch, not on the regular S6. And then 10-day battery life on the S6 AccuFit Evo, and 7-day battery life on the regular S6. So that's pretty much like the differences between the two. Other than that, I mean, there's not really a gigantic difference. Yeah, so, you know, since I like tech and everything like that, I feel like switching watches right now. So I'm gonna put my Pixel watch to charge because it's got like 50% battery, and I'm gonna throw back on I'm gonna call it the S6 Evo. But it's a good smartwatch though, good fitness tracker. So far, its tracking of my activities have been pretty close to accurate. Trying to get that clasp on here. Anyways, and it's a very light watch too. So like I can feel like my Pixel watch on my wrist, and I can tell you guys that this watch, I don't feel anything at all. No weight at all whatsoever. It's super crazy. I ended up buying the S24 Ultra. Nice, nice, nice. How you liking the S24 Ultra, man? But yeah, and like that's like the beautiful thing about Android's ecosystem compared to Apple's ecosystem, right? And I'm not throwing shade, I'm just sharing facts. The Apple ecosystem, you got everything plays well together with as long as they're Apple, right? If it's an Apple product, it's gonna play well. With the Android side, I have my Pixel 10. I could use my Pixel watch. I like using this watch that BTech gave me, the Tozo S6 Evo. So I'm actually going to be using this for a while. And I still have my CMF Watch Pros, which I also like using too as well. And, you know, I can use my Pixel Buds A. I can upgrade to the Pixel Buds 2A. I like using my my CMF Buds. Or, where did I put you at? Put you somewhere. Okay, I misplaced you somewhere. But my Tozo, oh, there you are. You're on this desk. My Tozo T6 wireless earbuds are fucking badass. They really are. They sound pretty good, and it looks like we're gonna get a storm. It got super dark and cloudy outside. God, what the hell? I'm looking like a dang cockatoo. What the? Anyways, so I think that's one of the big things that I love about the Android ecosystem is that just you can use different things and it all plays well together, and it creates this vibe where it's like it's intentional, even though they are separate, right? Tozo is a different tech company from Google and from, you know, Nothing and CMF, all different tech companies, but all their products play well together. And that's something I really love about Android. So, you know, at this point right now, you know, with a video that I dropped yesterday, I probably wasn't too clear on it, but it looks like that Google is really going to be integrating Android, you know, into PCs, into Windows. Not particularly the Windows software, but something that's accessible from Windows PCs will be able to take advantage of the, you know, the fluid integration of, like, you know, Gemini Nano, you know, those types of things, like basically Android in its entirety. So I'm thinking, like, you know, at the same time you'll be able to use Android apps on a Windows desktop computer with this integration. And it's something that was announced at the Qualcomm Summit. So Rick Osterloh took to the stage to talk about it. And yeah, it was a nice presentation. If you guys missed it, you guys can catch it. If you guys want to hear my video about it, I shared an excerpt from the news coverage on it. So yeah, it looks like that, you know, Android is such a, you know, growing thing. And then when you take it back to the Google Pixels and you take it back to photography, you don't have to be a pro photographer to achieve really good photos. I mean, if you have an imagination and an eye for detail, the Pixel 10 will cover the rest. It'll take care of the rest. And while people are complaining about, well, you know, it's downgraded cameras from, you know, the previous model and etc., right? Like, yeah, you know, in some instances, it's going to show its weakness being a, you know, a 48 megapixel camera, excuse me, a 48 megapixel main shooter compared to the Pixel 9's 50 megapixel, right? And a difference in 2 megapixels, and I've never really thought it would just have people just crying about it. You know, because it's really weird too. And you know, yes, I am gonna call out, you know, some of the hypocrisy when it comes to it. I've seen people do reviews on the Pixel 9a and talking about that the cameras are pretty solid and it takes really, really, really good photos. And then in the same breath, complain about the Pixel 10's cameras when the main shooters on both of these are the same sensor. They are the same sensor. Uh-oh, spoiler alert. They're the same damn sensor. So which is it? Is it crappy or is it good? This is why I would rather watch tech videos from just everyday Joes and Janes than watching the well-established, I'm connected with all these tech companies because, you know, people loved my videos from 20 years ago. And now, you know, now I'm just, you know, I'm saying what needs to be said for the sake of drafting minds. Like, if I could be honest with everybody, and if people take offense to it, sorry, not sorry, I don't care, but I'm just gonna say it like it is. I've been on YouTube since 2011. I've seen it all. I've seen it all in this lifespan. And what I've noticed was a lot of the people who started off and hit millions of subscribers way back in, like, you know, 2011, 2012, 2013, and have been, you know, in the tech space since that time. I have noticed that it's more like their duty today is not really about informing you of the latest in tech out there per se. It's more of like they're like, you know, they're shepherds herding the sheep. You know, it's like, okay, society wants you to like the iPhone 17, so we're gonna do everything in our power to kind of guide you towards the iPhone 17. Vice versa, you know, guide you towards Samsung, guide you towards Google. And it's like, I mean, while I never got the chance to be a part of Team Pixel, I'm kind of happy that it doesn't exist today. They had to get rid of it. Like we've seen the true colors of a lot. And while people can get offended and get mad, look, if you get offended, obviously there's some truth to what I'm saying, and that's what triggered you. If you're not mad and you're laughing, maybe you know what I'm talking about. But there are, like, when you look back 5 years ago with the whole Team Pixel campaign and everything like that was going on with that, a lot of people were just always like, you know, my Google Pixel this and my Google Pixel that, and I love my Google Pixel and I take it everywhere with me. And after they got done with the review videos and the B-roll footages that they shot and everything like that, and then what do? You see them on social media because you decide to follow them outside of YouTube. And what's in their hand? An iPhone or Samsung Galaxy. It's not the Pixel, right? I've used various different tech. I do. You guys know this. I use various different tech, but the one thing you'll always find in my hand, Pixel, because I really do like them. Now, they're not the most powerful phones out there. They're not, you know, the phones that's made for gaming or any of that type of stuff. Except for an update that's coming here really soon for Pixels that has people excited. Apparently, by what I'm being told from several sources, and so this is a video that I am going to be working on later next week. But there's an update that's coming to Google Pixel 10s. I guess. Oh, look. The dump truck is here. So there's going to be noise now. Never fails. But anyways, apparently the potential of the Tensor G5 has been capped all this time. Oh my god, shut up. I have the worst luck. One UI 7 is really nice, but you were on 5.1. Yeah, you should be getting One UI 8 soon. All right. You can stop now. I think it's dead already. Shout out to those that, do you guys ever notice that with technology, even garbage trucks evolved? You don't really have to have guys hanging off the back of the truck holding onto that handrail trying to like get off every time it stopped to grab your trash can and dump your stuff. They literally at this point can just do it all from inside, never getting out of the truck. So it only takes like one person to drive and control the truck. Technology, it's always evolving. Anyhow, so yeah, the Tensor G5 has been capped all this time. Apparently, its full potential has been capped all this time. And there's rumors that there's a update that's going to be coming here soon, or has already came to some of the Pixel 10s, and it completely like uncaps the performance of the Tensor G5. And they're saying that this is going to be great for mobile phone gaming. I don't know. I'm not a heavy gamer. You guys know me. The only game that I really like, in a way, religiously play is Pokemon Go, because I'm a big fan of Pokemon. If you didn't know that, I've collected the cards when I was a kid, a teenager. I still have the golden, exclusive cards that came with a Mighty Kids meal from Burger King. You bought the Mighty Kids meal, you got like a, plastic Pokeball, opened it up, and you had, a card inside of it, and there was exclusive, gold bar cards. And I think I have Bulbasaur and Pikachu. Well, I don't have it anymore. My dad has it in display in his house. I'll show you guys. I'll take a picture and post it to Instagram. So I'm going to go see my dad in a month. My older sister's coming here on the 28th of October. And then on the 29th, ooh, thunder. On the 29th, we're heading to my dad's. And we're gonna stay at my dad's. We're gonna stay near my dad until November 4th. So my kids are gonna go trick-or-treating in my dad's neighborhood. Get them away from the city and from the whole commercialized Halloween thing. And I want them to go trick-or-treating in a spooky atmosphere. My dad's neighborhood is very quiet, especially during the fall season. It's already chilly outside a little bit. The sun goes down earlier, obviously, and the leaves in the tree actually follow the season. So the leaves start to fall off because the tree's going into hibernation for winter. And so it creates that spooky effect that I want my kids to experience when they go trick-or-treating. So we're going trick-or-treating in Oklahoma this year. But yeah, it's just one of those crazy times. So, I make a ton of videos on Pixel 10s. I try to back off from making too many videos because I just don't want to like overswamp people with it. I still have a lot of different videos that I want to make with the Google Pixel 10, including a full-on review. I still haven't made my full review of the Pixel 10. If you guys didn't know that, I have not. I still haven't. There's so much to this phone that, I need to test out, play around with, have fun with, and so I could be able to tell you. I don't want to read specs. If you guys notice when I read specs, it sounds so robotic when I share specs with you. But if I use something and I'm able to understand it, its behaviors and everything like that, it can come out organically and naturally to you guys. That's the way I want to present my review for you guys with the Pixel 10. I still use other devices. I'm about to do another test comparison because somebody who made the claim that the Pixel 6 has a bigger camera sensor, so it's going to take better photos than the Pixel 10. We're going to put that to the test because that's my next video that I'm working on currently. I'm going to be comparing photography between the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 6 more in depth. So that's why the Pixel 6 is my secondary device. I have a case for it. I just got to get, I'm probably going to get me another pop socket and just kind of put it on there. So then that way I could, test them out, test out the photography in them, take them out, do what I got to do. And, so, I mean, there's all that stuff that's coming down the road when it comes to tech and everything like that. But ultimately, I just wanted to show you guys in this podcast and just talk about the cameras of the Google Pixel 10, the selfie cam, and then the triple camera setup on the back. Another thing that I'm going to challenge other creators on is that we got to stop this narrative that they downgraded the camera sensor and made it smaller because they needed to fit a telephoto in there. No, they didn't need to do that, because obviously if you look at the Pixel 10 Pro, it has, a main shooter, an ultra wide sensor, and a telephoto sensor inside of it. The reason why that the Pixel 10's camera sensors from the telephoto to the ultra wide to the main sensor is downgraded is because if they gave us what was in the Pixel 10 Pro, then would there really even need to be a Pixel 10 Pro? Now remember, it's marketing, it's business, it's sales. They're about making money, and that's the absolute truth behind it. So that's why the telephoto sensor on the Pixel 10 is not the same telephoto sensor found in the Pixel 10 Pro. Both have telephoto sensors, which is the ideal upgrade from the Pixel 9 to the Pixel 10. If you want to go from the Pixel 9 to the Pixel 10, you want a telephoto sensor, but you don't want to pay the Pro model price. Well, now you can pay the base model price and get a telephoto sensor. And of course, it would make sense not to make it identically as good as the Pro model, because then what's the point of having either? They have to have a little, like something that differentiates them apart. That's the reality of it. But you know what? I'll take this over going back to a dual sensor setup like the Pixel 9a. Like, this is got great cameras. Main wide angle shooter and ultra wide shooter is awesome on the Pixel 9a, but it doesn't have a telephoto to do zoom shots like I've been doing. You guys have been noticing I've been really messing around with the 20 times zoom in photo and in video to show you guys what they can do, and I'll continue to keep doing that. I've actually been posting stuff on, my shorts channel. So if you want to go to the short sides of tech, I'll put it into the description later so you guys can subscribe to that channel. That one's just all short form content. I keep them separated. You got to keep them separated. That just popped in my head when I said that. Hashtag ADHD problems. Yeah, see, you guys are experiencing my ADHD world. Anyways, I am very happy with the cameras on it, and I will continue to advocate for these cameras because they are solid. It's just one of those things where, like, I'm just gonna tell you guys, like, you have to use these things in order to know. Like, everybody else has their perspective on things. That's great. You know what I mean? But overall, literally, you just got to use it in order to know it. And if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. It's totally fine. But for those people who are passing judgment on the phone that they've never held it in their hand, I mean, that's just a little ridiculous, don't you think? You guys let me know. Sound off in the chat. Or if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay crew. See you guys later.